Abraham was a very rich man, as I have informed you. 100 men answerable to him. But they were not only 100 men. If you gave conservatively 2 women to those men, conservative, they could be more. Here we already in 300 people. Yes, who are on the homestead of Abraham. So you can see that wherever he went in with his entourage, perhaps 400 men, he was being noticed by the local leaders. That's how Pharaoh of Egypt came to know that visitors have entered your land. Pharaoh that was not living on the border to see Abraham coming, but the security personnel, they saw that the entourage is very big, so they had to relay the information very quickly for security purposes. We have a group of people who have entered Egypt. We don't know whether they are enemies or friends. That was their work always, the security personnel, to see these people coming in. There was no passports in those days. There was no boundaries in those days. People moved in and out as they pleased. And that's why the security personnel was always alert to see people coming. You see? Yes. And then immediately alert that I see people coming, and they seem to be very many. We don't know whether they are friends or enemies. And so the leadership of that time could get organized and ready. If they are enemies, then they will attack each other. If they are friends, they will have to answer what they are looking for. That's how Abraham was able to go to the palace of Pharaoh. You see, Pharaoh was not allowing anybody who is coming to Egypt to visit his palace. But because Abraham was a man of substance, he could not be overlooked. That's the man God chose to go to the homestead of such a man, because gods were judged by material blessings they were having from the very time. Now, many of those things I am informing you, you will find them in this book, because the defenseless God is a book which is supposed to do one thing, to give you a pre-understanding of your reading the Bible. Had God made a big mistake to enter into a poor man's home, he wouldn't have survived for 2 years as a homestead God. He would have been chucked. First of all, he was invisible. And everybody would be laughing at that home. How come you have an invisible God? That's why you are languishing in poverty, because you have an invisible God. Please try gods who are visible. When people came to him to take an image of his God, because Abraham was a very rich man, you are rich. Can I take an image of your God? That's where his biggest faith comes, and says, my God is invisible. Hey, are you sure? Yes. I have never seen him even. I even don't know how he looks like. He's invisible. Everybody laughed, but guardingly, because Abraham was rich. They said, well, he's invisible God. Seemingly is active God, because look at how rich he is. I wish I joined that invisible God. That's how all of those lots, name them, came into the entourage, because they said, even if he is invisible, but he is an active God. He is blessing. He is giving. He is doing his homework, because that was the homework of every God. Make me rich, and then I will know that I have a God. That's how Abraham's entourage could swell up to 500, up to 600, because people became interested in this invisible God. It became a way of evangelization at that very early age. This is the last point for now in terms of culture. When God became God became a homestead God, that was not supposed to be the end to his quest as a God. He was supposed to move from a homestead God to a national God, then from a national God to a universal God. And God of heaven was ready to come and play that game, so that someday he may save you and me. There was no way God of heaven would have been crucified when he is a homestead God of Abraham and Isaac and Jacob. You see, don't ever continue to pray that I pray in the name of God of Abraham and of Jacob. God is now yours, as I will show you as we will continue on this channel. I am going to explain how God don't ever take us behind 60,000 years ago by saying God of Abraham, God of Isaac. God is no longer God of Abraham. He is your God, because he has gone through this system of a homestead God, and then a national God, and then a universal God. Any God with no ambition of becoming a national God was not worthy to be worshipped in those days. Now, the Bible is very clear. God is going to tell Abraham, I'm going to give you land, and where you will live with your descendants. And that land will be his land. It is not Abraham who was looking for land. It is God who was looking for land. Pharaoh knew the culture very well of those days. And Pharaoh had never heard of Yahweh as a name. Gods in those days were supposed to graduate. And the Bible story shows you how God is moving towards graduation. When Yahweh asks Moses to go to Pharaoh and then tell him that Yahweh said, let my people go, Moses feared. Why? Because Moses knew the culture very well. He will ask me, who is your God? In those days, again, by culture, gods who are with ambition had to have a name. There were no gods with no names, and any god with no name has no ambition. You know very well that this is going to be a hopeless god who is going to evaporate tomorrow. You see, there were gods with names like Marduk, Asherah, Ashtat, Iris. Those were the gods of empires already who have made themselves names. They had names. That's why Moses says, but sir, you are sending me to Pharaoh, but what's your name? Up to that time, nobody knew his name.
He's gonna answer each and everything that you may think about, and the comments are welcomed. After listening to all these episodes, I'm begging of you not to skip one, to take them one at a time, because if you jump to another when you haven't comprehended one, then there may rise a problem in regards to your understanding of these concepts, because they are theological concepts. They are not just literal concepts, but they are theological. They need a bit of our attention.